Welcome, Black Hollywood Live fans. You're watching the Aftershow for Queen Sugar, the mid-season premiere, episodes 9 and 10. Stay tuned for more. Welcome, Queen Sugar fans. We are back. Oh, I love this song.
I love Molly music.
Yeah, and it's going to be all right, you know?
It's going to be all right, guys.
We are down 2, but we're going to be good. Hey, guys, my name is Shaka Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
Hey, guys, how you doing? It's your girl, Miss Candy Marie. So good to be back.
Yes.
You can find me on Twitter at Sweet Candor TV and on Instagram at Miss Candy Marie.
Yes, and of course we were missing Kelli and Angela Scates, but they'll be back next week.
Yes.
So we're going to have to hold it down and talk about this mid-season
We're
premiere.
going to hold it down for you ladies.
Yes. Just how refreshing is it to have Queen Sugar back? I love it.
Oh my
it.
gosh!
I missed it.
I'm actually, just excited that we're finally here. But for the longest, I was twiddling my thumbs trying to figure out what was I gonna do without this show.
And even some of the drama of the show, I was fine with this week because I was like, it's back, so I'm
It's
happy
back,
for it. So it's all right.
Right. You got to make up for all the months that you've been gone.
Exactly. Let's just jump right into it. I guess we kind of started off with this great engagement between Ralph, Angel, and
my
Darla,
goodness.
which felt so good. And then obviously we come to a point this evening where it doesn't feel so great. What do you think about this journey they've been going on?
You know what, man? I think that's love. Love is an emotional roller coaster. You have your ups, you have your downs. And, even with growing up in life, they're a young couple, and that's the one thing that we cannot forget. They've grown up in a sense together. And the two vital parts of their lives, they've been apart.
Yeah.
So it's like now they're these two brand new people that have overcome these mountains, and now they're trying to build that life together. I want them to make it so bad.
I mean, for Blue, of course, I'm like, every time Blue's on the screen, he breaks my heart. Y'all gonna be together forever?
Goodness.
Forever,
Right,
forever? Forever.
Right.
It's heartbreaking. And I guess we saw in this episode a little bit more of this dynamic. I love that Vi's always, she's always like
The positive, real
the realness.
voice
She's like,
of reasoning.
are y'all sure you really want this? And then by
Right.
this episode, we're kind of like, maybe they don't really want it.
Right. I mean, you know what? I hope they do. I hope, I love Darla's growth.
Yeah.
I love her growth. The only thing, I was a really big champion of Ralph Angel last season, and I don't know if you remember, but this season I'm getting a little disappointed because I'm like, she's right. Stop judging me and allow me just to be the person that I am today.
And he's almost, I know Darla's strong, but it's almost like he's risking her sobriety at this point because the place where she's the most vulnerable is this person star that she had to be or she was.
Let her go. Let her die.
So what did you think about that? Was he right to be judgmental or was he right to feel a kind of way because she didn't want to talk about it in that moment? Because I kind of feel like maybe she should have said something more to him.
You know what? I think he was just wrong. For him to compare his wrongdoing to her wrongdoing, that's completely messed up and it's not fair to Darla.
Yeah, I did think that was way over the line.
Oh my God. And I'm going to say this. I've got a little weakness for Ralph Angel because he fine, but you ain't that damn fine, Ralph. I want him to just allow himself to be happy. It's like every single time they get to this happy place, it's like he fights her.
But as a man, to hear this other man talk about your girl in that way and have her not come to you and say, look, he does know me. He knows me as Star, and this is what happened. And maybe he just needed full disclosure of what was happening, so he didn't sit around going, "I'm the idiot here in this situation."
But I think that also goes back to that's a hurdle that they need to tackle.
Yeah.
That's something that there are so many open wounds that they have not stitched up. Put some Neosporin on that bad boy and let's move on. It needs to heal.
And of course he refuses to go to counseling. Yeah, I like that little Neosporin.
But it's needed though.
Yeah.
It's needed because the therapist is gonna pull these issues out. And I think there's just Ralph Angel's sensitive, and that's something that we all know. But I think that it's gonna cause him to be emotional, and I think he feels like it's okay for me to express myself, but I don't think he wants to face that.
And it seems so crazy to me because he seems so progressive, as a parent with Blue and Kenya, but now he's refusing to go to counseling as if he thinks that's something less of him.
Yeah, because I mean, like, if you think about it, especially I think in the black community, we make our men, I mean, you being a black man, like, it's like you're not allowed to express yourself. You're not allowed to show any sign of emotion. Or when it comes to matters of the heart, it's kind of like they just take it and they keep going. They don't really deal with a lot of issues. And I think that's the same case with Ralph Angel, especially with him being so masculine and him being an alpha male. What alpha men do you know that like to express themselves and share their emotions? So I think that's something that he's going to have to grow into.
Yeah, I think we have a stigma in the black community about going to therapy or counseling. But I just figured from Ralph Angel's perspective, he's been so open to Blue and so open to, the doll and standing up for his kid in that way. I would think that would have led into other areas.
Yeah, and I agree, because I feel like in that moment, and I agree with you 100%. I would have loved to have seen, Darla say, "Hey, this is what really happened." But I also really wanted Ralph Angel to kind of stand up for her. Like I saw him just listening to this guy, and I know this is a new experience for him. But I just wish that I didn't want a confrontation. That's not what I'm saying. But I just wish he would have had her back just a little more.
Yeah.
Because this is a very soft and sensitive subject for Darla as well. Like, I felt her pain in that moment. Yeah. Like, I mean, as human beings, we've all been in a place where it's like, man, like, that's something that I wish that I could just erase off the face of this planet.
And it's only been like, what, a couple of years. It's not like it's been,
Yeah, she hasn't healed from it yet.
Yeah. Man, that's a tough relationship. But then we have Auntie Vi, who's going through some stuff. We were kind of left with a cliffhanger at the end of last season in terms of what's going on with her. Yeah. And we have a little bit more information now, but what do you think about that situation?
Oh my gosh. Okay, the first thing I thought, and it seems like the disease that hits most families is cancer. Yeah. That's the first thing I thought. Like, oh my God, I hope Aunt Vi doesn't have cancer. And I was just like, just like every, big mama or the backbone of every family, it's like something slowly comes in and tries to take them out. And I'm like, man, please, I hope she survives this, because they can't take another blow.
Yeah, and I don't even like her doing this self-research and kind of putting off, people, it's a little hair loss from the wigs or the stress. Yeah, I don't like to see that. And it's something we also have in the black community. For me, someone into health and fitness, right, we don't go to doctors too often. No. We don't like to face.
We don't trust them either.
We don't like to face when things are wrong with our health, because I guess a lot of times we feel like we're fighting to live, but in order to fight to live, you have to fight for your health as well.
Because honestly, it's like, with all these signs that they're showing, it's like she's slowly dying.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the first thing I think about. And she's the matriarch of the family. It's like, no, like, come on, Aunt Vi, go to the doctor. Yeah. Stop being stubborn.
At this stage, I don't want to. Yeah, at this stage, I don't want to see you researching the symptoms. Like, these are serious symptoms you can't see on the page. The vision's blurry. You need to go to the doctor.
It's time to go to the doctor. So I think we saw fibromyalgia.
Yeah, yeah.
What did you think about that?
I don't know much about fibromyalgia, so I need to go look into it to see. I don't even know how serious it can be. I don't know much about it. I've seen the commercials, so I was like, well, we have to go research that one.
Right,
but
right.
I hope it's not anything too serious. But if we go off camera, or we have anyone in the chat, maybe they can tell us a little bit more about fibromyalgia.
Yes, please.
We can all diagnose WebMD Auntie Vi.
Right.
I think we had a lot of depth in terms of Charley and her mother. We finally, we'd already known that the mom was white. We'd already figured that one out.
Yeah.
And we really saw a lot of the tension between Charley living in between these two worlds.
Oh my gosh. It's like now she makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Like, that to me was like a very vulnerable side of her, because it's like, man, she was sent to boarding school. Yeah. And when her mother's response was, because it was like, you're a black woman living in a white man's world.
So I had to give you the best of the best to equip you.
Do you agree with that?
To a degree, but again, Charley's tried to equip Micah, and he's still a victim. So I agree with the mom's thinking, but again, just like she said, you can only do your best.
Yeah.
And I think giving her the tools that she thought would make her better equipped to navigate that world, and then allowing her to go to the summer so that she would have this connection with her black family as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's just being a multiracial person myself. It is definitely, it's not easy, a white woman raising a black child. Yeah. That's what it is at the end of the day. Yeah, you're half white, but at the end of the day, you're still a black child.
Yeah, that's how you're perceived.
That's how you're perceived. Yeah, and it's like, man, like what do you do?
Did you feel like you were ever kind of navigating between a white world?
Absolutely, absolutely. When I went to white schools, I was the black girl. When I went to black schools, I was the white girl. So I get it. And there's always a point in time. It's like your hair is different, your skin complexion is different. And I was literally always the lightest person in all of my classes. So a lot of times you find yourself like, okay, well, what world do I really fit in? So with that being said, I understand why Charley had to create her own lane. I understand why she became this alpha female, or why it's kind of like she developed this defense mechanism. Like I am this strong woman because I have to be. Like she has no other choice.
Yeah. But now she seems like she maybe is making different choices. But I love that the mom is still the mom. She still is like, all the things you don't want to hear from your mom is like, oh, this industrial place. And, you know, all the things you don't want to hear, she still says.
Right.
But there's a deep love between them, which I thought was so beautifully played out.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God. It's like her mother is the only person that I've ever seen her like really soften up for, besides Micah.
Yeah.
And it's like her mother, I see where Charley gets this cutthroat, like, personality from her mom is like that times 10 to me. But at the same time, I'm a little worried, like how is she gonna shake things up in Charley's world? Because already, you know, Charley's like, okay, well, should I bring the white farmers in? She's making her second guess her decisions that she wouldn't normally second guess.
Yeah, which moms make us do all the time, right? That's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
But I really thought I liked her mom's take on, wait, why are you not dealing with the white farmers? Because that's where you can really expand and grow your business. And there was almost like an acknowledgement from Charley that it really is just a race thing.
Yeah.
And it's not just a bottom line thing.
Yeah. And I think it also shows that there are places in our country that are, I don't really have to say this, but there are places in our country that are very much still segregated. And that's the world that they still currently live in, you know, and it's so interesting because it's like even though it is I can't even talk right now. Even though it is 2017, these are still issues that we still face. When she walked into that meeting with the Landrys, I'm still a black woman. Yeah. They act as if I was invisible, even though I'm even more qualified than these people that I'm sitting across from. My skin color is still something that I can't change. And that she had to kind of bite her tongue in order to just not make waves, not be seen as the angry black woman. It takes so much power to do that. Yeah. To sit in a room with people that you know are judging you and that are treating you a particular way because of the color of your skin, but you know that you can get much further rather than reacting because that's what they know that you're going to do. Yeah. That's what they expect. It's like I just saw this video, I actually posted about it. You know, this attorney was in a Midwestern courtroom and he's sitting at the thing, at the defense table, and the judge walks in and says, "Hey, defendant shouldn't be in here right now." And he goes, "I'm the attorney." And the judge starts to laugh, and the other attorney starts to laugh, and he has to laugh because he doesn't want to, injure his client. He wants to make sure that the client still has a shot at a somewhat of a fair trial. Right. And in that moment, I saw that with Charley, where she's biting her tongue, doesn't want to make waves, doesn't want to be seen as the angry black woman. It's so infuriating that it feels like we have to do that all too often. Yeah, and honestly it is, but I think it shows also a sign of strength. I think it shows a sign of strength to be able to sit in a room knowing damn well that you want to just cuss this person out or even put your hands on them. You know what I'm saying? Lord, God is still working on me because there have been so many times. But I think it takes a certain level of strength and maturity to be able to do that. And I agree. Don't give them exactly what they want. They want her to act out of character so they can ban her from, the meetings. Yeah, the sugar quarter. Whatever the hell the thing is. But I think, how do you feel about what she decided to create out of that situation, which is her own Queen Sugar Festival? Well, yeah, I love that because Charley's such an innovator. I mean, I think she's forced to always be an innovator. I have to start my own mill. It's kind of something that goes back to her mother to a degree. I forget who said this, or maybe it was on another show and someone said this, but they said the one thing about white people is that they always believe they can win. They always there's something in them where they just, life or society has gone a certain way where they believe, okay, I can make it through, I can win. Her mom seems to have that attitude. And I think it's trickled down to Charley to a degree. So she's at that point where she's like, if I can't do it this way, I will do it this way. I'm going to find a way to do it. Exactly. And honestly, I think that's not a bad way of thinking, whatsoever. I mean, I respect that way of thinking, and just as a person, I feel like that has persevered over the years. Like, you change your mind, you change your life. Yeah. and your mindset is everything. And I appreciate the fact that her mother did have these solutions, but I don't think her mother necessarily understands the world that she is in and what she's facing and what she's dealing with. And I think that her mother is so used to, if this doesn't work, then this doesn't. Well, race is a whole nother beast.
Yeah, I mean, just like Charley said,
It's
she
a
simply
whole
said,
nother
"I don't
beast."
want to do it." Like
Right.
she was right, but I just don't want to.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so I thought it was interesting. And then Charley and Remy, a little bit of happiness for Charley. What do you think about their storyline kind of getting a little bit rosier?
I just want them. Listen, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I just want them just do it. Damn it, just have raunchy, nasty sex and get together, have babies, and be happy and
Call it
all
a
that
day.
stuff. Call it a day. I honestly, at the end of the day, that's what I want everybody to do. Just have some nasty sex and just be happy.
You heard it
why
here
is
first,
that so
right?
hard? I'm serious.
Well-
Like, especially all that chemistry, and I respect, take your time, and Remy is such a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I'm looking for a Remy.
we gotta get Mr. Whitfield in here.
Hey,
We
man.
gotta get him
Well,
in.
you know what? We do.
Yeah.
We need to get, and Mr. Whitfield, if you have any nephews, you know what I'm saying, that you can bring on the show with you, I'm all here for
Good
it.
to go.
But I like their dynamic. I like
Yeah.
he keeps her balanced.
Yeah, well, speaking of nasty sex, never thought I'd say that. Nova and Dr. Dubois have taken your advice.
Yes.
But they have an interesting dynamic, especially with this whole article that she's written. I like their dynamic. I like the way they kind of feed each other.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I love it. I agree with you 100%. For so long, I've wanted Nova to just get some love.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the issue with a lot of people today, like, especially when their emotions are up and down, is they just need somebody to, one, understand them, and somebody to love them.
And on the same level where they're not using them or trying to get to an
And they
end.
don't have to
yeah.
explain themselves, because what I've found is that a lot of times people are just often misunderstood.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's been Nova's issue, from her father to her brothers and her sisters. So many people have misunderstood her. Even when she was sitting in that meeting, and I don't recall exactly the woman's name that she was sitting with, when she wanted to try and find a more positive angle for her stories.
Yeah.
And the woman was just like, look, nobody trusts you. Like, and that's basically what she said. Nobody
Yeah.
trusts you. We don't understand your angle. Like, why are you here? Nobody here is going to talk to you.
Yeah.
And it's just because I think even like for the majority of her storyline, she's been trying to figure herself out as well. Like, she knows she wants to do something to help the greater good and to help people, but sometimes I think that her messages sometimes just gets, convoluted and confused for something else.
Yeah, and you see that vulnerability in the fact that she kind of lamented about how she couldn't help Micah. Where,
Yeah.
she's done so much for other
For
people
so
to
many
uplift.
people.
But and that was almost Ralph Angel's point with Nova, is that where were you for me?
Oof.
And so I think that guilt is gonna start to weigh on her a little bit
Yeah.
more. But we'll see. So Micah's dealing with the aftermath and telling his mom. But I do like this new relationship that hopefully is somewhat healing for him with his girlfriend Kiki.
Ooh, Kiki.
Yeah.
You know what? I like Kiki.
Yeah,
I think
good girl.
she's good for him. She's good. She's aggressive.
Yeah.
The qualities I see in her are very similar to Charley.
Oh, really?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I see she's a leader.
Yeah.
She's assertive.
Yeah.
She's aggressive. She goes after what she wants. And also I see a little bit of Nova in her as well.
Yeah.
And I think that I agree with Ralph Angel when he said that boy is soft. Because he is just a little soft. And I think that, Charley, she was a little overprotective with him, and he was a little sheltered, and I think that he needs, somebody that can help him step out of his comfort zone. And I agree. I think she's good for him.
Yeah, I think she was a breath of fresh air to see, and I like that she stood her ground and she said, "Look, let me tell you exactly what I'm about."
Listen. I mean, because I think most girls in that situation probably would have just took that shower.
Yeah, they don't always stand up for themselves, or at least let the guy know exactly where they stand.
Right, and I respect that. Being that young girl, I think a lot of our young girls need to take heed. You don't have to fall into the pressure. Like, if you want to just continue to be a virgin and meet somebody that you love and that can earn your virginity, then so be it, and that's okay. Don't feel bad. Don't let these little boys pressure you.
And how are we doing in the chat?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so Zias Bilu, girl, I hope I pronounced this right. She is just going in the chat right now. We've got Doran, he's here in the chat. Zia's, she was talking about fibromyalgia. She provided some information.
Did we find out?
For us, she said that it is a disorder characterized by widespread of musculoskeletal pain, accompanied by fatigue, sleep, memory, and mood issues.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound too bad. So
I mean, you know,
hopefully that's all it is.
You know, it does. Yeah, you know, it sounds like something that she can control.
But we want to thank you guys for joining us in the chat. It's awesome.
Yes.
Love your support. And I think we're ready for predictions.
Are you? Well, wait. We should definitely still talk about.
What have I missed?
Well, I really want to talk about Micah and what he experienced and what he went through.
Yeah.
Like while he was in the car when he got pulled over a few months back, you know, basically the police officer pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
That is one of the, I can't even imagine what it was like for him to experience that and to go through that and to know like my life could have been over.
And it to me it was almost, I thought it might be more jarring, that ride once you're passing that police station. You know he's not taking you there. And now you just have no idea where this is going to go.
Yeah.
And that is where I can see the trauma really hits. And you realize that nothing that you have, not the car that you just got, you know, the fancy car your dad just got you, or his name or your mom, is going to be able to get you out of the situation. You're simply dealing with the fact that you're black and this is the officer dealing with you right now.
Yeah, and that's a world that I feel like, again, he hasn't experienced because he's been so sheltered and privileged, and he's experiencing this for the first time. And you know, it's like, you know, this is what it feels like to be a young black man in today's society. I'm actually glad that they tackled that in this episode, because I feel like that's something that, you know, we're dealing with every single day, you know, especially with the Trump administration and so many things that are coming, you know, to the surface. And I think that they got it right by writing this into this episode. Yeah,
I mean, these two episodes are beautiful, directed by Julie Dash. Just amazing episodes.
Oh, Darla's pregnant.
Oh my God, almost missed.
Darla is pregnant.
Wait, did we find out Darla's pregnant?
Yes.
Well, did I miss this?
Yes.
How did I miss Darla's pregnancy?
Okay, well, when Darla and Charley, when Darla was trying on the wedding dress, she mentioned that when she was trying on her wedding dress, her mother said to her, "You look pregnant."
Yeah, Charley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that is when Darla revealed.
Oh, I must have missed it. I
thought she's
thought
pregnant. Yeah, she's pregnant.
Oh,
and everybody's been mentioning that, you know, they have this family and, you know, the baby's on the way and everything.
Oh, I totally missed that. Is that right, guys?
Darla, yeah.
Darla's definitely pregnant.
Darla's pregnant. Hey guys,
how did I miss
sound
that?
off in the chat. Yeah, she's pregnant.
I did find it shocking that Charley was pregnant before she married Davis, because it just is completely opposite of, you know, what you would expect out of her.
Yeah. I mean, that is interesting, but she said it's because she loved him.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
But you just Charley's
she's so calculated.
She's really about her business. So that's shocking to find out. Well, let's go ahead and do some predictions for our next episode.
All right. So, I predict that Mr. Dubois is going to. I feel like he's going to end up moving to Louisiana.
Yeah.
I really want him to.
Yeah.
And I feel like when she said, "Well, why don't you just stay here?" And, you know, he was like, I gotta go, I gotta do this keynote. But I feel like it's gonna get to the point where they're inseparable. They don't want to do this whole long distance thing anymore. Either she's gonna try and move to Atlanta, or he's gonna move to Louisiana.
Yeah. That's it.
What
else you got? What else you got?
Okay. Let's see. I predict that the Landrys and the Boudreaux are going to be pissed about this Queen Sugar Festival. They're going to try and do everything possible to try and sabotage. Vi, we got to talk about Vi and her pies. You know, she got offered that $50,000 for the pies. I feel like she's going to get a little nervous. She's going to get a little scared about it. And I feel like she's going to try and continue to hide whatever is going on with her.
Well, I will predict, and this is probably not going to happen until later on, but I don't know if Vi makes it out of this alive. I think I think she might die due to whatever it is that's
You think
plaguing
she
her.
might die?
I think the rest of the family is going to be forced to step up because without her, she's sort of this emotional, wise glue that holds the family together. And I think that either she's not going to be around or she'll be diminished in capacity. So they're going to have to step up and really grow into their own people, their own leaders instead of just kind of following.
What is Hollywood going to do without her?
Well, maybe not die, but maybe find herself in a place where she's not able to lead the family the way she's been able to. I do predict, before that happens, though, a little bit more detail between Vi and Charlie's mom about exactly what's taking place. Because do we even see Lorna and Ernest together? How did they meet? How did they get together?
And Ernest doesn't even seem like he would be her type.
Yeah.
She was like, you stole him.
Yeah. And then he went back, so... Yeah, so I need some more details about that. So we'll definitely find out the details about that because there's no way they can just leave us hanging. I do agree with you on Dr. Dubois moving with Nova. And obviously, I think Ralph Angel and Darla are going to separate. And I think there's a very real chance that Darla may fall back may relapse.
Dang,
This might be what does it because
she's come so long, so far.
Yeah, but it's again. She's always said it's a step-by-step process.
Yeah.
You got to keep taking your steps, keep going to your meetings, and I have a feeling that this might have been a little too much for her to run into this guy and then also lose your support that you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
So we shall see. Do we have any confirmation in the chat?
Yeah, they've got some talk in the chat. Well, okay, let's start here. Hampton Blue says that Calvin will come between Nova and Dr. Dubois. What do you think?
I don't see that because I see at least the way it's playing on screen to me, they have such a beautiful synergy that a Calvin seems like, who are you? Especially that last love scene, like the synergy they had even in their conversation and uplifting one another. They have synergy on all levels of a relationship that you need. Yeah. So I don't see that happening. I miss the pregnancy.
Well, okay.
We have to go back.
Am I like being a psychic or something? Because I thought I saw something about her being pregnant.
But I do like that as a prediction. Because that would be. Cause I could see them, completely splitting, and then.
Wow.
you might have the all-seeing.
Maybe I have these secret powers that I'm just finding out about tonight.
Well, we will certainly find out on some future episodes.
Yes, we will. We will.
Thank you for joining me, and hopefully we'll have the Scates girls
I'm
back.
I'm just happy to be
next
here.
Week.
And yes, we got to have the whole crew together.
Yeah, so thank you guys for joining us. Again, my name is Shaka Smith. You guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
Yes, guys, I'm glad to be back as well. It is Miss Candy Marie, and you can find me on Twitter at Sweet Kendor TV and on Instagram at at Miss Candy Marie.
We will see you guys next week. Thank you, guys. Wait for it.
Or
hey guys, sorry. I was
part 2.
we were dealing with some tech issues in the booth, so I just didn't mean to leave you hanging there.
No problem. We'll see you guys.
Bye, guys.
I'll cut that out on the YouTube video for you.
Cool.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.